Welcome to the Fivefold Food Podcast, hosted by Dr. Robert F. Dial, where ministers receive the spiritual nourishment they need to succeed. The Word of God declares, and he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ. Prepare to receive revelation, wisdom, and insight to empower your ministry for victory. Now, let's eat.
Praise the Lord. God bless each and every one of you. Welcome to another edition of the Fivefold Food Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Robert F. Dowell, and I'm so delighted that you've chosen to be with us for another podcast. I don't know whether you're watching this on YouTube or social media, or you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you may be viewing or watching this podcast. I ask that you would subscribe so that you can get the latest podcasts as they come out. If you're able to on the platform that you're on, you should maybe see some show notes. If you're on Spotify, iTunes, you should see some show notes. Be sure you look in there. You can find other materials that we have that'll bless you, benefit you, free resources to help the fivefold minister. Be sure that you'll be so kind also to leave a 5-star review. Share it with a ministry friend or someone who you believe that'll benefit from it. In this podcast series, we want you to eat well so that you can excel in your fivefold ministry. I'm excited again. I'm glad that you're here with us. I want to get right into today's podcast. And today, again, I'll be joined in my podcast by my good friend of this show, Dr. C.P. Cornelius. Welcome, Pastor Cornelius, to another edition of the Fivefold Food Podcast. How we doing, Pastor C?
Praise God, man. I'm doing well. What about yourself, man?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm glad that we're here to do this live recording. We hadn't been able to really share and talk about what we're going to talk about. We have a subject in mind we're going to talk about. So we're looking forward to cooking up this word live on today. And again, for those that are not familiar with, you should know Pastor C. He comes from the great state of Florida. Has been pastoring over 30 years. Instrumental in leadership, not only in the local church, but in his community as well. So he brings a depth of wisdom and just knowledge to this podcast. And I'm always glad to have my sidekick with me on these podcasts. I want to get right into our podcast for today, Pastor C, because time flies as we're together on these podcasts. And so I want to get right into our discussion. For those that have been tracking with us, if you haven't, go back and look on YouTube or on Spotify or iTunes. You can see wherever you're getting this podcast, because we're in part 3 of a series that we've been dealing with. And so if you missed the first couple of episodes, you want to go back also and hear them. But we're in part 3 where we've been teaching on the subject that God inspired you. And we've been just breaking this thing down and looking at it, how to go from caterpillar to butterfly leadership, how to go from that caterpillar that crawls to that beautiful butterfly that flies. God wants us to be butterfly leaders, to be that butterfly leader that's just not in an ugly place, but that's not in a beautiful place.
Yes,
not in a low place, but we're teaching them how to see how to get to a high place.
Yeah.
Not to stay in their now place, in their birthing place, but how to get to their next place in their God-ordained destined place. You were birthed as a caterpillar, but you weren't birthed to stay there. That was your now place. You've been sharing, and we've been sharing precepts, points, and principles to help them go from that now place, that next place, that birthplace, because God don't want you just birthed into your ministry. He want you to go into your destiny. And that's what we've been sharing and what we dealt with. The key that you so eloquently shared with us on the onset, that we got to get wings. And when you begin to tell me about that, I like, man, we got a podcast about that. Helping leaders get their wings. I want wings. I got wings. Any leader got wings. I want some leadership wings. I want some wings in this place. That's what we need. In some places, we need some wings, not chicken wings, not turkey wings, but we need some leadership wings. And you shared with us, and we talked about the W, how we need wisdom. And then we dealt with the I, how we had to inspire others, how you talked about inspiring others to rise, but we want to inspire others that we dealt with. And now we're at the end. And the end is that you shared, Pastor C, that we have to navigate with others in mind. So let's teach, let's learn. I got my pen. I'm ready to learn as well as we cook up this message. How do we get these wings? Talk to us about navigating with others in mind. You know, let's kind of like we always like to frame it. Why do you believe maybe this conversation is important? You know, maybe you might want to talk about why we need to do this. Why is this conversation navigating with others in mind? Help us with that, Pastor C. What gave you that?
I think that's important. First of all, as we deal with what's navigating, you're moving to a particular direction.
Okay.
You're moving. It requires movement. So as a leader, you're moving. All right. As a leader in that way. So with that in mind, first of all, I realize I'm not in this by myself. You got to realize that we're in this together. So the goal is where we want it to be. All of us in this thing together. It's a we. It's a us. It's not just a me. So with that in mind, since it's us in this thing, now I might be, and I am the leader, but I got leaders. So as the leader, I recognize that I have others that leaders, but they're not the leader. Okay, leaders. So I'm leading them, and in leading them, I'm moving. So in that though, there are people. I want them to follow. You made a statement last time we was together about what might well say in regards to every leader basically should have followers, right? Are you just taking steps? So in moving, I got followers. So when I talk about navigating, I'm moving with them in mind. That means I'm considerate. I'm recognizing, I'm looking, we in this together, and I become considerate. Number one, I recognize I cannot do this by myself. And so therefore I need to consider people. So I need to move with awareness of who I'm dealing with. And what that oftentimes also calls intentionally. I need to intentionally be concerned, care about other people that I'm leading. So that's what I mean by navigating with others in mind.
Good. I like that. So what I'm hearing is the importance of it. You're saying because you're leading, but you're not in this journey and what you're trying to do it. You're not doing it alone.
There you go.
This is not tennis. It's not golf. It's not an individual sport. So ministry, which all ministers are going to be affected. Were you the senior leader? It's a church, a pastor. You're an elder minister. You have other people that you lead. You have auxiliaries that you lead. You have influence. So, or your own ministry, you're evangelist, apostle, you do conferences or whatever. Even whatever you're doing, it's normally going to take a team because you're not doing everything. So unless you do everything, then you have a team.
Yeah.
Might be a team of 2, might be a team of 3, but unless you do everything, I mean, that's everything. That means you're on a team. So what I'm hearing then, if it's a team, then we're playing team ball, not golf.
I like that.
Not tennis. So if it's team ball, I'm not in this by myself.
That's right.
So since I'm not in it by myself, I have to consider others. And I think that's so interesting, Pastor C. That's helping me. And I like that as I'm chewing on it, as you pick that down, and I pick up what you're putting down. That means then, since I'm not in it by myself, as I'm leading, I just can't think about myself. Because I think this is why we got to frame it. Because what some leaders do, they navigate. Because navigating is just how we're moving. We're going from a point A to point B. Is getting somewhere, right? Going somewhere, right? Maybe to a vision, to a dream, navigating across town. That's a movement. Right. But it's a movement, not just for you, but it's for others that follow you. Yes. So if we're going to have that movement for others to follow us, what I'm hearing, what I think so important in this, that movement to others to follow us, then if you just navigate they just navigate, but they don't navigate with others in mind. They're leading, they're navigating, man. They got a plan, they got a vision, man. They got strategy, man. They got what God has told them, but what they're doing it is they're navigating. But I think why some leaders are having frustration, why this is important. Many leaders are having frustration in their organization because they don't have the proper navigation.
Whoa.
Let me say that again. Frustration in the organization because you don't have the proper navigation. No, Pastor Dal, I do. I know where I'm going. I got a map quest. Old school. No, I got instructions. I got ... I got a vision. I wrote it down. But what you're doing and you're executing it, you're not doing it with others in mind. You're doing it with only yourself in mind. And I think what we'll add to this podcast today, Pastor C, that we have to not just navigate, but navigate with others in mind, because you're just not in it by yourself, because you'll end up with frustration or stagnation. And the reason you have frustration because you're frustrated with the people. They ain't following me. They ain't doing what I'm asking them to do. They're not showing up the way that I need them to show up. They don't have the level of for my conference, for my missionary work, from my auxiliary as my church, whatever area I'm leading in. They're not showing up and they're not executing the way that I want. So you're frustrated. And the reason they're not, because the way you are navigating, the turns you're making, the twist you're making, the direction, you didn't do it with other people in mind. You only did it with yourself in mind. And I think that's why this is so important, because we'll end up with that frustration, Pastor C. And it's a little subtle adjustment. Solomon talked about take us to small foxes that destroy the vine. I wonder, leaders, are you leading and navigating with others in mind? What are you hearing in this, Pastor C?
But I'm hearing this also, where part of what you just got through saying is what I'm hearing is that you can have the conference plan, right? You cast the vision, right?
Your team. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got your team. You got all that in place. And then let's go a little bit more. You can preach the word. You can cast that vision. You can organize the ministry. But you can't forget that ministry is people business. It's people business. Ministry is a people business. And because it's a people business, I have to become considerate of the people that I'm leading. Because like you said earlier, it's a team. That's what I was hearing you. It's a team. And you were saying all of the things you could do and how the frustration and all come, because in your navigating, you don't forget this people business. It's people business. And because I'm in the people business, I want to make sure I stay considerate of the people. But if we lose touch with the people, we miss the whole point. If we lose touch. So what I'm trying to form with the people I'm leading down is a connection. How are we going to connect if I'm not considering them? There's no connection. There's a disconnect. And so now you brought up what was important, why this is important. You talked about frustration. For me, now I can't get the people to trust. There's a lack of trust. They don't trust me because they don't think I care. So they have a hard time trusting me. And therefore, that's why it's important that I navigate with people in mind, because what I want to do is I want them to be able to trust me, and I want to build relationships with them. That's that connection part, which going to help me navigate through what I'm going through or where I'm trying to get through. It's going to help me to navigate it, because I'm going to get that overall help from them now. And so with the vision, with the destiny, everything that you're doing, the conference, whatever it is you're doing, I can get the best out of them because they feel like, hey, we're connected and I can trust him and he care about me.
I think that's good. See, that's why we got to navigate with others in mind, because many times leaders are frustrated in whatever capacity they're leading on because they don't feel like they're getting the best out of the people. They're not giving their best. And I know they have better potential. they better, they're not showing up the way that they know that they need to show up. But we want leaders to see, and that's why these conversations are so good for leaders and ministers to hear, because the reason you're not getting the best because you're not leading the best. Because you said like, if they don't trust you, they don't know you, you don't have that connection with them. That means you're not navigating. All you're doing is, I like to put it this way, they don't have the connection because what they're leaders with a compass.
Oh,
see, when we think about navigation, we think of where we're going. Leaders need a compass. See, leaders have to have a compass. The compass causes us to how we look forward. It helps us move forward. But leaders not only need a compass, but what you were saying, Pastor C, they need compassion.
passion.
That's help you look around you. See, the compass is for you to move forward. The compassion is so that you can lead with those around you. The compass is for direction. Leaders need direction. But the compassion is for connection. And so if you're a leader that only lead with direction and without connection, then what'll happen is you'll end up with frustration because you won't never reach your destination. Because you're like a train with an engine, but you ain't got no attachments. And so that's why, again, like you were saying, Bessie, they don't trust you, they don't buy into you, you don't get the best out of them. Why? Because you don't have a connection with them. And so that's why you got to be a leader with a compass and compassion, because we need to not only move forward, but we got to move with those around us. We only need to have a direction, but we need connection as well. When we have a compass, we'll be we'll be efficient. We'll be efficient. But when we have compassion, now we'll be effective. And when we're effective and efficient, now we can be excellence and we can be triple E leaders. And so I think we got to make sure leaders, I want to ask you, leaders, we're taking for granted they need a compass.
Yeah.
You need to know where you're going.
Yes.
You need a vision or goal. But I believe we're talking with leaders that got vision and goal.
Right.
But beyond that, if you're going to navigate with others in mind, now the others in mind, you got to be able to connect and lead with that compassion. And I think that's how we lead with them in mind. We have to have that compassion with them. And I call this, we need what's called a relational compass. You need not just a navigational compass, you need a relational compass, because a real good leader, he has a compass, but not just a compass, but a relational compass in his hand. And now that causes him to have a magnet in his heart. And why? Because now he not only have direction, but the great leaders not only have direction, they have connection because they lead with others in mind. And what are you in? How do we begin to do this then, Pastor C? How do we get this connection? How do we have this compassion? How do we navigate with leaders in mind? What do you say? What are you saying now?
One of the things is we have to make sure now, even in our navigating, we sometimes have to slow down enough to check on people who's helping me carry the load. So you say, how do I do this? Is I slow down and I check on people. So that's one of the things. I'm checking on the ones that's helping me carry the load. That I don't get so bogged down in navigating that I don't slow down to make sure the load that the people that help me carry it, that they good.
Let me say this: don't lose your thought. But are y'all picking up what the doctor just put down? See, they have to slow down, Pastor C, because they're watching this podcast, they're driving, listening to this audio podcast because they're high speed. Oh, good God in Zion. They're go-getters. That's why they're investing their time. Some of them in the shower, some of them on the way to work, some of them working out, because they're high speed. What's the point, Pastor Dow? Because they're high speed, they got so much going on, Pastor C. They're juggling. We're talking to movers and shakers. That's why they're on this podcast. That's why they're watching this. They juggling a lot. And because of that, there has to be a greater sensitivity. to slow down. That's why there's genius in what you said, because there's so much that you're doing that's so important, that's so essential, because you're juggling so many things and you're moving a shaker and you ain't got time to waste. You ain't got time to be playing around. That's why you got to hear that you got to slow down to connect with the people, letting them know. What did you say they need to do, Pastor C? Let them know what?
Yeah, I was saying that you need to slow down and check on them.
Check on them.
Yeah, check on them, because they're the one helping you carry the load. Check on the one that's helping you carry the load.
And what I was going to say, don't let you finish. That's part of the connection. See, that's how you have that compassion. That's how you don't just have direction. That's your connection. I'm slowing down. I got it. I'm in the airport. I'm about to board a plane, and I got a ministry assignment. I'm about to close a deal, but I know it's imperative that I have to find and squeeze time to connect with the people and check and see about them, because that's my connection. That's why I want to say that. That's the connection, and I hope that hit with people. That's genius.
Yeah,
that's connection.
And then that you have to, when I'm checking on the load, because you was asking, in doing this to make what it looked like, how to make it look. I think the other thing where you got to ask questions before the assignments. I need to ask questions before the assignment. Why? Because when I feel like if I'm navigating and if I'm doing it with people in mind, they time matter. They life situation matter. So I need to know that. So I'm checking on my people. I'm checking in before I give the assignment. Because see, they might have the ability to do the assignment, but they ain't got the time right now. Maybe it's because it's a life situation going on right now. So I feel like a good leader, when I'm navigating, my attitude cannot be, if they on the team, they just need to do what I'm assigning them. No, I need to consider them. Keep in mind who I'm navigating with. As I'm navigating, who with me. So at this particular time, I recognize they time. They ain't gonna be able to get this assignment. So that's gonna help me with what you brought up earlier. I ain't gonna have no frustration. Because I recognize they didn't have the time, so they don't get this particular assignment because of their time. But I got frustration if I'm not navigating with them in mind, but only me. I got the time. You just got through saying they moving, right? So now, boom, I'm gonna give you the assignment. Not considering you. You ain't got the time. I'm frustrated because you didn't get it done. Or you say, hey, Pastor, I ain't really got the time. I wanted to, but I ain't got the time. I'm frustrated. And what eliminate my frustration if I considered you. Meaning what? I ask questions before the assignment. I think all that plays in this navigating with people.
I love it. Man, I love it, because that echo not just direction, but the connection. See, because that's why you frustrate. You just had direction, but you didn't have a connection, because you didn't know. You didn't know, as our bishop would say, the state of your flock.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key.
You know the state of your flock.
That's the key, now.
It's calling, as a leader, you got to know the. See, when we're talking about the compassion, you got to know the pulse of the people that you're leading. Because when I measure my pulse, it's telling me something about my blood pressure.
Yes.
It's letting me know how things internally are going on. See, when a leader, when you only think about the external, the what, and not the internal, the who, that's when you end up with the frustration and the stagnation with the people. And so I love that. That's the compassion, checking in on them, seeing where they are. And I think about it, it's like this too. If you're going to have that leadership compass and compassion, it's like you got to know really who you leading.
Yes.
And what I mean, you got to know who you're leading two ways, collectively and individually. collectively, senior pastors, leaders of auxiliaries, leaders who leading movements, your team, that's it. Collectively, you have to be able to not stereotype, not put people in a box, but you need to be able to put your people as best as you can in a category or two categories. Why? Because if I'm going to lead with compassion and lead with others in mind, the others are the collective people.
That's correct.
So because if I'm leading a group of people who are a church, auxiliary, or whatever, they're mostly seniors or boomers. How I lead and navigate them, and when I realize these are seniors and boomers, it's going to be different how I'm going to lead millennials or Gen Z. Why? No, just it's the same vision. It ain't about your direction. You can go in the same direction, but you're leading a different group of people. So the way I can navigate with baby boomers and seniors who are the different stage and season and with their time, with their life, with their work, with their finances, it's going to be with their energy level. It's going to be different if I'm leading millennials or Gen Z. And so if you don't consider that in your navigation, you're going to have frustration. Why people don't, why I can't get my team. And then what we do, which is not wise, Pastor C, we compare ourselves among ourselves, which is not wise.
Yes.
And so I look over and how you are navigating. And so now I want to follow your navigation system because it's working for you, man. You're reaching destination increase. You're reaching destination multiplication. You're reaching destination manifestation with signs and wonders. So since you're navigating that way, then I want to follow what you do. But what you do may not work for me because we're not leading the same people.
That's correct. That's correct.
See, why? Because you got to lead with others in mind. He's leading baby boomers.
Yeah.
You got a church of Gen Zs. You got people at a whole nother level. And so time, people got AAU, different things. So there's a wisdom in that. See, so I think that's it collectively. And then let me hear this, and I want to hear what you're saying. We cook this up individually. So now you got to have, there's a certain wisdom. You got to know the state of your flock, man. My praise and worship team, I ain't putting them all in the box, but I don't have what some may call, like, say, level 10 singers who maybe could follow a McDowell or a, old school John B. Key or Maverick City. They probably couldn't be their backups.
Okay.
See, let me tell you the wisdom in this, because you got one person that got strong backup people who level 10 people that probably travel around and build them. At this season, you might have level 5s and 6 who can hold a note, love God, but they might not. So you might not can lead and do what somebody else do. And that's why you got to be able to lead. And you frustrated. These people, see, because you're not leading with others in mind. And so you're not leading. Why? Because when you lead with others in mind, then that may be some adjustments you got to do. But then you got to look at them individually. What do you mean individually? So now I have a collective and everybody's different. So now I got to interact with different people on the team in different ways based on them. If I want to get the best out of them, if I want them to reach their blessed place, if I don't want to have frustration, why? Because if I'm trying to squeeze water out of a rock, if I'm trying to get something out of somebody that they cannot give or not able to give or don't have the time at this season or the ability to give, then I'm going to be frustrated. Something got to give. That's why you got to know people individually. What are you hearing, Pastor C? That's what that's what you stirred within me when you thought about this navigation. That's what I'm hearing.
Man, I like that what you said. I'm gonna go back to the praise team.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm gonna hit this now. No use at the end. We always kind of
no, we just flow. We just flow.
Yeah. So, but I'm thinking with the praise team, I remember me navigating through with the praise team. I was raised up without how church looked for me. To me, I was used to a choir. Praise team did come in with me, but I was used to a choir. Choir have choir practice, choir rehearsal. I'm from the South, so we used to call it choir practice. When the choir come in, they practice during the week. During the week, Sunday's sacred. You don't do nothing on Sunday, you do church. So now I get a praise team. I expect the praise team, because I had a choir and a praise team. Praise team will practice either after the choir rehearsal or either before. Nobody does nothing on Sunday. Got a whole different group. Millennials, brought up earlier, the disease. No, they rehearse on Sunday mornings. Totally different. I had to navigate with that in mind. Now, they're not empty nesters. They have children. They have kids. They raising up young. So they say, our best time is on Sunday morning. I had to navigate that, lead that with them in mind. I destroyed praise team. Now I'm frustrated because they said we can't do rehearsals during the week. We got PTO. We got the games going on. But Sundays. So I'm like, no.
But if it worked, it used to work back in the day. But are we compromising? If it worked then, Pastor C, for people, it worked then. Why we change? It worked, before COVID. It should work now. Why are we changing and compromise? Is that compromise?
No, it's not compromise. It's wisdom. It's what we talked about the first. It's wisdom. Because the way we at now, in the times we at now, is wisdom now. Because does it really matter? It have taken away nothing. So now I'm considering their time, what fit best for them, and still when Sunday rolls around service, they're producing. They're producing. So no, it compromise is wisdom. This way we at now, this would work best. Back then, that worked it better. And it was the people that was doing it back then. It's a different group of people.
It's good. I hope leaders working with children, choir, praise team, parking lot, bookstore, pastor support, food ministry, pastors running the conference, your church, your ministry, whatever team, and this apply outside on your workplace as well, but we're talking to fivefold food principle apply, that you're hearing that, Pastor C, that it's wisdom. It's not a compromise, because the whole thing is about the outcome. It's not always, the goal is that we get there, not how we get there. Sometimes the route may change. The vehicle may change. But the main thing is we want to get to that place. The old saying is more than one way to skin a cat.
That's true.
If you can't fly there, we wanted to fly, but flying may not work. So we get a train. But we never do train. We fly. No, we don't do bus. That trip, that weather, the turnaround, the flight time. It's best that but it's not about the vehicle, it's about getting to the location. And you have to look at your practices as vehicles. And what the main thing we want to get to is the destination. That's why we can't be a practice-led leader. We have to be a principle-led leader. And on podcasts like this, Pastor, where you're teaching us, and what we're getting is the principles. Because the principles are universal. See, the principles can fit. It's a universal thing. It can work here. It can work there. The principle is the same. That's why the Bible says wisdom is the principle thing.
Principle thing.
Why?
Yeah.
Because the practices may change, but the principle remain the same.
Yeah.
And so
Good.
when we get that, then that's why I want to follow your principles. It's so good for me to know your practice. Tell me how you do this with your ushers, how you do this with your team, how you do this with your sound, with your video crew, how you do this with your dance ministry, how you do this with your team, your apostolic company, how you do this with your prayer warriors, how you do this with your intercessors. It's good to know practices, but we have to go from practice to principle. And wisdom is the bridge that helped us get other people practice. We can pull out the principle so then we can have the proper procedure and policy for our people. Let me say it again. We have to pick up practices from people, but we need wisdom to get the principle. This is important, Pastor C, because some people, when they're not teaching oriented, if they're not breaking it down, marriage-mosing it, line on line, precept on precept, what we try to take this time on the podcast, if they don't break it down, see, we're not trying to be repetitive. We don't try to beat a dead horse, but we're trying to break it down to its lowest common denominator like we learned in school.
That's right.
Because if we break it down to a lowest common denominator, now it's better for us to pick up the principle from the thing.
Yeah.
Because now when you get the principle, you can have the proper practice, policy, and the procedure for your people.
That's good, man.
And that's how we always got to look. Don't try, because what worked there, because you got to look at who he's leading. What's the principle? The whole principle is this. Not that the praise team got to meet on this time. The principle, what you said, what works for them on the stage and season in their life. Woo, good God in Zion.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. And that's navigating with people in mind. What worked for them?
Yeah. Wow. Well, let's talk about for a minute, Pastor C. Let's talk about I want to add maybe something that you want to add, because what I'm hearing what you're saying then is when you let them do the practice on a Sunday morning because they said that worked for them. Let's talk about how these principles in practice, like this is how it looks like in action. That's what I'm hearing. This is how it looked like. This is what it looked like in real life, in real ministry. Okay. What I'm hearing, it looked like adjustment. So maybe you want to share, like, what did it look like?
Look like.
How do you really do this in ministry? So again, see what we're doing. See, I want people to really catch it. It can almost seem like, aren't we saying the same thing? And see, this is how you marriage most. Divided asunder. Break it down so that the clear principle can abound. Oh, good God in Zion.
It look one way this principle, what we're talking about navigating people in mind, what it look like. It looks like when noticing people. You noticing people. And in noticing them, you find out whether or not they're faithful or faking. Right?
Oh.
So you still hold them to a high standard. But at the same time, you give them room to breathe when they need to breathe. When they need to just take a breath. Because you're noticing them. So you find out some people, they're faithful when others are faking. So what this look like when I'm navigating with people in mind, I know a fake from a faithfulness. So I recognize that she's not faking, he's not faking. This where they at right now. So I need to give them time to breathe. I need to give them time to exhale. I recognize their life situation got them the way this is. And then there's the others, they ain't really faithful. They just faking. They always bringing up something. You faking it. And I noticed that because I'm navigating with you in mind. In other words, I might be moving, but I'm watching you. I'm still seeing what I'm seeing. And because what I'm seeing, oh man, no, I need to make some adjustments here. We might need to make some changes. And so now what I'm praying for wisdom, Dial, I'm being honest, man. I'm praying for wisdom with you, how I'm going to remove you.
Why you need wisdom? Why not just, so let me hear this. So let's hit this. I want to hit why we need wisdom. Why not just moving? But you're saying we want to remove when we see that people are fakers.
Yeah, they're
Kind of
fakers.
massage that a little bit for us. Kind of unpack that. What do you mean by they're faker and they're what like? And why you need to remove? Why you want to remove a faker? Kind of help us.
The reason why I want to remove the faith. Notice who I compared them to: the faithful and the faker.
And you said sometimes the faithful even need a breath.
And they need a breath.
They need to breathe, right? So you're not saying
what I said. Know what I say about the faithful? Not to remove them, but to give them chance to breathe some.
So sometimes they need time off. They need to take a step back. They might need a break. They might need a break. They might not be up to par. They might not be meeting the standard. But but you notice them. There's a good reason why you know they're not meeting the standard. And so what you do is you don't lower the standard, but you give them a chance to better themselves so they can get back to the standard.
Exactly. You still hold the standard high, like you're saying. All right. But you still got a soft heart, though. Follow me? You have a soft heart. Your standards high, but I have a soft heart.
I love it.
I have a soft heart. So I'm going to give you a chance to breathe. The faker is just a pretender because they keep making up excuses. Now I didn't say this here, but I give him his credit. My son was ministering. He said that all excuses is a glorified lie. So in doing that, you're faking on me, and you trying to fake it till you make it. But your auxiliary, or if you're in the fivefold, whatever thing you over, the results is still the same. It's still the same. And so we all say it's insanity to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So that faker keep doing that same thing, and I keep seeing the same results. So now, because of that, I need to remove you. But you asked about the wisdom. But removing you, I got the guide. Hear me, pass it down. I'm going to have to guide with grace. I call it guiding with grace. I'm going to still show you grace.
We guide him with grace.
Yeah, I'm going to
still hard, but high standard. Why not go into why not just cut them, remove them, sit them down? I really want to help the leaders. Why don't you just do that? Why all this is necessary?
Because I'm not trying to destroy them. At the end of the day, I'm still considering them. I'm navigating with a person in mind. So I got to understand that this is people business. I'm not trying to destroy them. I'm still out to build them, help them. But they might just be on a stage right now. All they can do is fake. So I'm not saying I'm not going to put you back, but you got to go to the bench. You ain't helping the team. You're hurting the team. But I don't want to destroy the team, the individual. But I can't let the individual destroy the team. So I got to deal with the individual. And how I deal with the individual, I don't want to destroy them. So going to the bench or not letting you kick don't mean I'm not going to let you kick again. It's just right now you're missing too many field goals. You're missing too many field goals. At game time, at practice, you're looking good, but you're a faker because you can't stand pressure. I'm just using the analogy we always do football. So now, every time in pressure moments, you miss that kick. So I want to make sure I grab you because at the end of the day, I got you in mind. I want to make you better. So this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. We got to cut you, but not destroy you. I'm not going to destroy you. So I want to do it. That's why I want grace. I want to get, like I say, I want guidance, but I want to do it with grace.
I love it. I love it. I think that's what speaks to, you said a key point, that we have to realize we're in the people business, that still we don't want to destroy them. Right. And I think that's how we've gotten, not maliciously, not intentionally, but it's kind of almost happened accidentally, that's how we have a lot of church hurt. Because leaders who wanted to had a standard or had an expectation, and they were navigating, but they didn't do it with others in mind, meaning that the execution of whatever they need to do. That's why we see maybe on social media these days it's prevalent. You'll see a pastor, somebody, they do something, correcting somebody, doing something, and it's not always that what the pastor was doing or leader was wrong. It wasn't always about the what, it was about the way they did it. And now it was the way, and sometimes it was the when they did it.
Yeah.
Then it was the where they did it.
Yeah.
The what was right. It's like that needed to be addressed. That maybe was not good. But we lose the wisdom of that, Pastor C, with social media now when it go viral, because everybody gonna pound on the way, they're gonna pound on the when, and they're gonna pound on the where it was done. But and so what we'll lose is the value of the what was done. And that's how a lot of pastors get in trouble, not just pastors, leaders, in any different area.
Yeah.
And now you're in the pastor's office or whatever, and you feel, now you have a problem because you feel like the pastor don't have my back. It's not that you have, it's not what you did was wrong. It's the way you went about doing it. Well, you just won't let people do what they want to do, don't have a standard. See, you're not getting it. It's not about the what you got to still. We don't want to destroy people. And so it's not. And see, when leaders don't get this because they haven't been taught this, they'll have this mentality. Man, we just got to deal with kid gloves with everybody. We just got to, everybody's soft these days. Everybody's soft. That's why we're in a trophy generation. Everybody win a participation trophy. Everybody's soft. This is a soft generation. So people, it ain't like it was back in the day. Big mama or mama such and such or deacon such and such. They'll just rebuke you and tell you like that shirt, that dress too short. You know, they need to sit down somewhere. You shouldn't be coming up in the house of the Lord like that. They would just tell you. You know what we did? We just took it. They'll usher. And so you think because you went through that, or that was in a season of life in the 80s or the 90s or whenever, or in that particular place, now they have an image that if it's not like that, then people are being coddled. They're being babied. And that's what's wrong with them now. They're being babied. Not necessarily that you can still correct, you can still discipline, you can still sit down, you can still do all of those things with love, compassion, and it all happens when you do it with others in mind.
Yeah.
Because even with children,
that's right.
You can have the same children in the house. And if you deal with one child, maybe raise your voice or tell them like, I'm disappointed, you can destroy that child. Because the way that their temperament is built, that you got to realize there's another way. Everybody not motivated, inspired the same way, disciplined the same way. And so that's why as a leader, I think that's important. That's why I thought it was so good when you talk about doing it with grace. See, that's why you're doing it because that's with them in mind. Your mind is just, it's like the old saying is with your parents, don't discipline your kids when you're upset. Because now it's all about you. You don't disrespect me. You don't embarrass me. We raise you better. See, that's about you. The discipline is for the child. So when you get out of your feelings or your emotions, you can do it with grace. And then it is truly what we would say, this really does hurt me more than it hurts you.
See,
and so I think that's so important, Pastor C.
Down with like the example you just used with the child. That child that always into something. That child that's that one you show a whole lot of love to. You want to overwhelm them with love. So when you do discipline them down, they recognize what you just got through saying. You're doing it out of love because you always showing them love. So now when it's time to discipline them, I correct them, they receive it like that. Because I'm always showing love. I don't just show love after I discipline you, but all the time. I'm always kissing on my little boy. I'm always kissing on my little girl. When they little, I'm always doing it. I'm always doing. That's when they're doing right. I'm doing it all the time. When they're doing, I'm doing it. So when the wrong happen, they still see that. I heard my grandkids one time talking about who they'll call if something happened and they had to go to jail. And it amazed me. They would say, oh, I'm going to call Pop-Pop. I'll call Pop-Pop. I really didn't think that would be the case, that they said they would call Pop-Pop because they figured, oh, Pop-Pop. No, but I figured it out because Pop-Pop always kissing on them now. It's now. And yet at the same time, Pop-Pop, I'm the disciplinary one. So I wouldn't think, but it's that. It's when you demonstrate love now, and the same with people that I'm leading. That if I love on them, if I'm leading them with them in mind, that means I'm caring, I'm there, they trust me. So when it's time for me to discipline, or when it's time for me to have to correct, they good, because you know what? I believe he got my best interest in heart. Another time, I know we just doing it how we used to do. Just had a situation, man. Just had a situation with a deaconess. I went over to deliver something there and said to me, Pastor, you probably need to sit me down. I said, what? Why you say that? Because they had a health issue. So they limited what they can do. They limited. And I said to them, yeah, I recognize that some of the things that's mandated now, you can't do it because of what happened to them. Not only a health issue, so they can't breathe, and I got leaders going through this mandatory training, and they can't do some things. Say, so it's probably best, Pastor, because what can I do? I can't do the thing. I said, hold up. Let me tell you part of the vision, something we finna do. I say, one of the things deacons do, you make phone calls. You make phone calls. This person said, oh, I could do that. I said, yeah. You stay connected with your members that you're leading that's under you with the phone calls. The other stuff, Pastor, no, you don't have the capability of doing. I know that. I said, but I need you on the team because there's some things that you can do and you're good at it. That's what I'm looking at. So I get ready to walk out this lady's house. She stopped me. Said, Pastor, I want to let you know I appreciate you because you're understanding. You're understanding. God, that's navigating with her in mind. I recognize her condition. I care about your condition. But I know one thing, you're valuable to the team. You just can't do all the things everybody else on the team can do. You can't do all the things I'm making mandated. You got to be in this class. You can't do that now. But you can pick up a phone. You can call somebody and say, I'm checking on you, your deacon, but we ain't seen you at church. Oh, you're in the hospital. I'm just checking on you. Those things.
All right, man. I think that's good. And that's how we do it. What you're saying, Pastor C, how this looks like, how do we lead with others in mind? It's not a compromise, but we're navigating. What I can hear in the back of my mind from the whiz, come on and ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. Ease on down the road. Why? They're easing on down the road because they're trying to get somewhere. And I think about that. If we're going to lead with others in mind, I think about ease on down the road. You got it. What you're saying, you want to navigate, you want to lead with them with empathy. You're feeling what they feel, but you don't lose focus. See, you feeling what they're going through. See, that's what empathy is.
Yes.
Not sympathy. Jesus was touched with the feelings of our infirmities. Listen, ministers, this is how we do it with navigation. Some leaders are so, because they're born to leaders, man, they so authoritarian, they so get it done people. That's good. God made you that way. He made you hard with your face like flint. You don't care about what people think. You are ego. I don't need a lot of friends. I'm need a lot. God, he put that in there because you need that as a leader, because leadership will break you. But at the same time, you got to be like Jesus. He's a lion and a lamb. Some leaders you can't just lean into the lion But if you're going to be like, now, if you're going to be a Jesus leader, not bishop such and such, apostle such and such, or whoever such and such, who you aspire to, who seem to have results that you like, but because they got the results, don't mean people. This is why we see later on documentaries, when you get behind the scenes, people that's been in what we thought were quote unquote successful organizations, ministries, parallel, para-ministries, whatever, broken, hurt, and wounded. Why? Because they had leaders who didn't lead like lions and lambs. But you thought because of the success, all was well. Now, so that's it. Empathy, the compassion, ease on down the road. Not only you got to empathize, feel them, you got to be able to adapt. That's what you said. We'll adapt. No, we'll adapt. You make phone calls. You don't lower the standard. Adapt. We can meet on Sunday morning. Y'all can do it then. Adapt. Not lowering the standard. That's how you help lead with others in mind. Because the policy is not for you, it's for the people. You know, you're not for the law written for you. So you got to sometimes you got to adapt or adjust your pace, your process with people. Adapt how you doing it. That's a good leader. Adapt. Why? Because you don't want to go so fast you outrun them. Then you got the E's, you got the E, the A, the S. You want to be sensitive. Come on, let's ease on down the road. Sensitive with when things shift, where they are, the season they are in their life, what's going on, and what may be for one person may not be for the others. Why? Because you got to be sensitive. Then the E, engage, like you said, staying connected, communicating. You talked about it, Pastor C, checking in, celebrating that progress and all that. And I think when we do that and we have that sensitivity, then we have that ease, EASEE, then we're going to have that engagement. That's it. We're going to be sensitive. We're going to be empathy. We're going to have empathy, adaptability, sensitivity, engagement. And then that's how we're going to help them ease on down the road. That's how we lead and we navigate with others in mind. And when we're doing that, like you said, in that, what you got to do, you got to know people's strengths. You got to know their struggles. Because I'm a navigator. You got to know their strengths. What they're good, that what they do well, their struggles. Then you got to be sensitive like that to where they are. And we know their strengths and their struggles, and you have sensitivity. Now you can set them up for success. And you know how to help them ease on down the road.
That's good.
And that's all leading with others navigate. That's how we do it. And that's what you said this term all the time. You got to know the state of your flock. You got to be among them. To know their gifts, their talents, their strength. And let me say this too, Pastor C. If you're going to navigate with others in mind, you got to know yourself. You need self-awareness. You got to know your strengths, your weaknesses. You got to know their personality, your personality, because you got to know how to navigate with others. They're just talkative. That's how they are. That's how to navigate with them in mind to set them up for success. What are you hearing? What questions you got, Pastor? What are you hearing? Where you think we need to go with this before we land this today?
Okay, one of the things I will ask down, have you ever led something? I would ask leaders, have you ever led, are you moving forward without realizing who had been left behind? You got to ask it. Yeah, have you ever, as a leader, to these leaders, have you ever been moving forward and then later realize you had left somebody behind?
I would say with me, I wouldn't necessarily say maybe left behind, but I would speak to in that same point where I made maybe mistakes in navigation, because that's a navigation mistake, right?
Yeah.
You leave somebody behind, you made a mistake.
That's
I don't
correct.
know if I necessarily made left them behind. See, maybe I probably left behind, but I know I made some mistakes in that because I'm so goal focused And leaders like this have to worry about that, because when you're goal focused,
You
goal oriented, like a lot of leaders, man, I'm a goal oriented person. I'm a goal focused person. And because I've been in certain seasons before I learned to navigate with others in mind, I was about the goal, Pastor C. And then, you're probably right. I probably did leave him behind, because I was about the goal.
because see,
I was about
everybody
the
ain't moving at the
mission.
same pace as you,
Mm-mm.
at the same speed as you, especially people like what you just brought up, and that was my point. People that's really goal oriented,
Yeah.
task oriented, for
Yeah.
completing the task. I got this goal,
Yeah.
deadline oriented. So
Yes.
it
I
ends up
love that.
bouncing down.
Yeah.
If we ain't careful, we overlook that everyone don't move at our same speed.
Mm.
And then people sometimes don't tell you they struggling to keep up with you.
Mm.
They struggling to keep up with you.
Mm.
They just, what they eventually do, they slowly just pull back. Because they can't do it. They don't tell you that they're struggling.
That's the stagnation.
Yes. Yes. And you like, oh man, what's going on with them?
Well, when you frame it that way, you said task, goal.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you say? You said what else too?
I said that these people are deadline.
Deadline, yeah. Task,
Deadline.
goal, deadline. Man, you're right. Well, I probably have left people behind too, see, because that's how I was in one season. And shame on you for not preaching this, teaching this before then. I wouldn't have made that. You tell me, man. What kind of friend you are? Glad I got a friend in Jesus, man. You should have said this 20 years ago. I could have kept me from some frustration, agitation, heartbreak hotel. Why? Because I'm about the goal, the mission, the deadline, and we need to get it done.
Yeah.
And so and I struggled with that, but I had to learn, and I didn't put it. You helped give me the terminology. Now I had to learn to leave with others in mind. What? To be more sensitive to where they are, and we might not get there as fast as I thought.
Right.
I might have to carry. And what I learned to do, I run, but I don't try to make my people run as much.
Yes.
It's like I had to look at their season. Maybe I wanted this to be accomplished in them, let's say in 3 months. It might take 9 months. It might be another year before we really get there. But the point is that we get there.
Right. And see, I think we make mistakes sometimes as leaders when we don't navigate with people in mind, thinking that they just because they're quiet, they fine. They ain't saying that, so they fine. They're all right because they're quiet. Or we assume that everyone have the same energy out of capacity as we do, out of other people that you're leading to. We believe caring, if I take time to care, it's going to slow down the progress. When the truth is, caring helps sustains it.
Man, you dropping gems. I love it. You said slow down, process, and write that down.
Yeah.
Then before that, you said,
sometimes we believe caring might slow down the process. It slows it down. But the truth of the matter, it sustains it.
Yeah. Man, I've been there, see. That's why that's why you gotta be sensitive and slow down. Because I've had seasons where I found out in retrospect that I was moving too fast, but they didn't tell me. And you know why? Because I'm moving and I didn't pick up the signs because I was moving too fast. Because sometimes some people won't go, hey,
right.
hey. Then you tell them, I'm tired. Did you just hear me? Listen, I said that I got my child got soccer and my daughter got ballet and I'm preparing for a new thing on my job. Pastor, head usher, head deacon, head whatever. You remember I told you that I'm not, you said in a respectful way. Remember, you just gave me another task and you gave me another assignment. Remember, I told you I got a whole lot of things on my plate right now, and it might not be to, after the summer or whatever. Remember, I can't do that, but you just sit me down. I want to bring that. But what people will do, and I want to encourage leaders, don't be like that. That's why I had to learn what people to do, and what people did to me, they'll pull back.
Yeah.
Or worse, they'll get offended.
Yes.
And they feel, and you have to take the hit, and they'll be like, you ain't sensitive. And really true, they really didn't lie, but it wasn't a heart thing. It was a head thing. It's like, you don't care about me, pastor or leader. I told you what season I was in my life. You didn't hear me. So it comes over like, and they're truthful. You didn't hear me. You're not sensitive to me. And it really seemed like you really don't care about me. That's how it comes over. That's how it looked. And at the end of the day, you have to own that. But that wasn't my intent, though. I do care. I do need to be more sensitive. So you have to learn to slow down, because everybody won't make them think. So now I made it my mind. See, I'm very sensitive. Why? You don't have to tell me. I'm watching and looking. I can tell by your life, because if people don't do that, or if you so fast, and I had it with my wife to say, I told you, babe. That's why you got to own it as a leader. I told you, and you have to own it. You did. But I was so focused on my goal, so focused on my deadline, so focused on my task. At the end of the day, I didn't really hear you. And I made that mistake, Pastor C. And that's why I slow down when I'm dealing with people. And I turned up my sensitivity volume so I can help people ease on down the road. I love that. They won't tell you. I hope they're getting that, Pastor. I hope they're getting that. They will not tell you.
Well, guess what happened to leaders then, Down? When you do that, that's never good. You last. LAST. You last. You last. Because you know what you did? You listen. You listen more deeper. You ain't just you listen more deeper. That's how you last. You ask for honest feedback. This is how you last, man. You ask for honest feedback. Right? You set SET. You set your mind on. Listen to me. You set your mind on paying attention. You set your mind to it. That means you intentionally do it. You set to pay attention to body language and energy shifts. When people's energy begin to shift. You set your mind to pay attention to body language and when energy shifts. This is how you last. And you take the time, when the morale is down, you take the time to stop and reset. When morale is down, you take the time to sit down, to stop and reset.
What was that A? I love this. What was the A?
The A is you ask for honest feedback.
You got to be able to handle the truth too.
There you go. You got to.
And don't get offended when they tell you the truth.
Yeah, right. If you want to last. Wow. I'm talking about folks that want to last as a leader. You want to last. If you talking about wings now, don't forget. Because we talking about soaring. We're not talking about the caterpillar that's crawling. That's a particular stage where you go through that stage and you get in the cocoon. But now, if you want to soar, if you want to be that leader, you need wings. That butterfly, you need wings. And you want to last.
And you said listen for what? Listen with what now?
You want to listen more deeply. Not just casual, more deeply. I'm listening to you.
Listen more deeply.
Ask for honest feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Then you stop and pay attention. With your mind, you set your mind. You set your mind to pay attention to body language and energy shifts. Because people body language and how they energy shift. I do it in meetings. And I'm not talking about just at peaceful. When I'm in board meetings, I'm looking how I can tell the body language, the shifting, because I got to know how to take control of that room. So I'm saying that, and then the other thing you do, man, you take the time to stop and reset.
Yeah, I love that.
Sometimes you don't need another meeting, man. You don't need another meeting. You need a moment of ministry, not a meeting. A moment of ministry. What I mean by a moment of ministry, where you minister to the person because you're concerned about the person. You don't need another meeting. I just need to minister to them. A moment of ministry.
That's just genius, because it's not about the task or the goal. That's people more important. And when we're
Yes.
fivefold ministry, you got to realize that. And I failed at that. I love that last acronym. I failed at that in seasons that I didn't last because I didn't listen more deeply. I listened shallow because I was so focused on my goal. See, I was more compass leader than compassion leader.
Passion.
You got to
Gotcha.
be balanced. You got to be relational. You got to have a compass in your hand, magnet in your heart, but it got to be a relational compass. I went from just a compass to a relational compass that I have to be compassionate so I can help people ease down the road. It reminds me, see, of the story. I don't know if you heard of this farmer. He had this goose, and this goose would lay these golden eggs. And man, these eggs was worth thousands and thousands of dollars. And so every time the goose laid the egg, he go to the goose every 3 days, every 4 or 5 days. He get that egg, he go sell it, get money. He go and sell, and they're like, man, can you get more eggs? I'll give you this much. He go, and then he was like, he couldn't wait for time. He couldn't wait to get the egg. And then he kind of like, couldn't wait for time. He get the egg. He got to a point. He said, you know what, man, I'm waiting on these eggs. I'm just gonna. I know what. I can't wait. I need these eggs now. He went. He killed the goose. And I'm gonna cut him open so I can get the eggs out of there. Then when he killed the goose and got the eggs out, he realized it wasn't no eggs to get. And then and because he was so focused on getting the eggs, he killed the goose.
Man, that's good, Dal.
And he ended up with no goose or no eggs because he killed the goose. When we don't navigate as leaders and are sensitive with others in mind, we can kill the goose. The very thing that's going to help get us the result. It's your team. Because you went too fast. You did too much. So leaders, don't kill the goose trying to get your egg.
Man.
Anything you want to leave with us, Pastor C? That we didn't cover any question thing we didn't cover today in this.
Well, I think the lead with the leaders, all of us, is that I believe we're in a season where God is actually calling us down to slow down enough to see people again. Not their titles, not all of our tasks, but to see people. See people. See their hearts. Because when you care for people's hearts, God will always take care of the harvest. You'll get the harvest. The things that come that you want if you care about the hearts of people.
Wow.
So that's what I would leave with us, man. God is calling us to slow down where we can see people again. The tasks, not even their talents, but I want to see your heart. So what my challenge would be to the leaders, my challenge would be this, man, to personally take time, maybe once a week or something, with the people that you're leading, sometime or another. Definitely don't go months without doing this. If it ain't but once a month, not to talk to them about your ministry or whatever you over, but that just ask them, how you really doing? How you doing? How you really doing? That kind of connection, when you do that, that keeps you grounded and that keep them growing.
Wow. What wisdom. Well, my friend, Pastor C, I've enjoyed this conversation.
Always, man.
We have. I pray that others, if they pull the seat up to the table, we pray that you've enjoyed this fivefold food discussion. If you want to get other materials, because there's so much, Pastor C's great leadership, great leader. There's a QR code for those that are watching with us on YouTube. You can scan this QR code, or you can go to Amazon and look up the book, The 7 Dimensions of Leadership. Is that it, Pastor C?
Yes, that's it.
And you can look at The 7 Dimensions of Leadership by Dr. Clinton Cornelius. Also, you can check out a book that I wrote. You see that, Igniting the Leader in You. Just some other materials that can help you. Also, you want to get other ministry. There's a link that you can get to our ministry link tree, resources that will be able to avail and bless you. And then also, I'll put a final link. You can scan that. You can go back and watch it. Go back and see the replay, where you can subscribe to courses that may be a blessing to you. Well, any closing thought, Pastor C? I've learned, man, I love that last. I'm glad that I want to be a leader that lasts. I failed in that regard because I'm so goal oriented. But that's why I think it's so important that leaders know themselves and leaders know who they are, so you can learn to make adjustments and be able to lead with others in mind. I've been blessed by this conversation, and I appreciate your wisdom. Any final thoughts you have for our
man? No, you blessed me, man. I was sitting here. I thank God for you, man. No capping, man. For a friend like you, all I could think about is that ease on down the road. Ease, man. That ease that I got to keep showing empathy to the people. I got to understand the importance of adapting. I'm making adjustments down, being sensitive to people. Man, I'm telling you. And then that last E, man, engagement.
You said it. How to engage. You taught us how to engage, though.
Yeah.
So now to see people.
Yeah.
Not just caring about their title. That's how you help ease on down the road.
I love it, man.
I know.
Always a blessing, man. It's conversation. That's all it is. This conversation. All we doing is talking.
I know. And
now we talking over some wings down.
I know.
And we ain't talking about chicken wings.
You're talking about butterfly. We pray that you've been blessed, ministers. Be sure you subscribe to the podcast. Let us know if this has been blessing you. Any content you'd like for us to deal with. We look forward to our next time together. We pray that you've eaten well and you will excel. God bless you. Until our next time, Pastor C, I look forward to gathering around fivefold food.
Praise God.